Greetings and salutations. Check this out. We got water pressure. And everything's working fine now. The only thing I need to do is fix that hole I had to cut in the roof. So this is what went down. Tuesday, the warranty company said they were having their contractor come out on Sunday. That was on Tuesday. And we're like, that's unacceptable. We live in the desert, for crying out loud. It's 100 degrees right now. We need showers, we need to flush toilets, we need water to live out here. And yeah, well, you could, buy bottled water, and we did all that. But that's, that's not what we buy a home warranty for. We don't buy a home warranty to have things fixed at somebody else's leisure. We buy a home warranty so that when something breaks, we can get it fixed, right? Because we don't usually have thousands of dollars laying around to fix wells or air conditioners, right? So that's why people buy home warranties, so that when the need arises, you pick up the phone and people come out and fix stuff. More on that in a minute. I just assumed that the well pump had failed in some capacity. And the well company, we called the well company to see if they could come out any sooner than Sunday. And we informed them that we were 48 hours at that point without water. And they were like, what, you don't have water? No, we don't have water. Well, we'll try to get somebody out there today. So that was Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon they came out here. And the guy, I showed him what was going on. And he said, it sounds to me there's probably, based on the age of this house and how things have been done here in the valley, there's probably a galvanized pipe all the way down to the pump, and there's a hole probably just above the pump. There's a hole in the pipe that's eroded in the pipe. So you're looking at, about $1,500. There's 120 feet of pipe to the well pump. The pump sits at the bottom of the pipe. And so he wrote up an estimate and was getting approval. And while he's waiting, me and his apprentice were pulling pipe. And a little while later he came back in and he noticed that it was PVC pipe. He said, well, that tells me that this pump was probably replaced at least once. So we started pulling pipe, and as we're pulling pipe, he's taking the unions, which were, galvanized steel unions between the PVC sections. And we got to, I think, the third section of pipe, and there was a bronze check valve that was installed between the two sections of pipe. And when he took that bronze check valve off, there was a plastic plug outside the check valve, a second check valve, and right away he went, aha. And then he explained to me that these newer well pumps have a check valve internal to the pump. Long story long, that internal check valve inside the well motor got spit out of the motor, and it went all the way up to that check valve that was in line, and it hit that check valve and created a blockage, essentially corking off the well, and wouldn't allow water past those two check valves. You replaced one section of pipe because I was helping, and I cut one section of pipe with the Sawzall. That's on me. And replaced that check valve, put everything back down, and everything works great now. But if we would have left it up to the warranty company, we'd still be without water. We picked up the phone and called the well company, and they said, no, that's unacceptable. We'll get out there as soon as we can. And they made a slot for us. They came out here late in the afternoon. I think they showed up around 4 o'clock, and they pulled out of here at 6. I'll annotate down at the bottom of the well company and give them a shout out. I think it's Great Basin. As far as home warranties are concerned, we bought a 3-year plan. We paid, almost $2,000 for it, and they're only going to cover $500. Choice home warranty, no bueno. I can't recommend them. Now let's get to the principles, the financial principles of home warranty. Home warranties are really designed for people who don't have the discipline to save money. I guess I have to include myself into that group of people because we don't have an emergency savings account. I keep trying to press that point with my wife that we need to really establish a budget and have have at least $1,000 set aside for an emergency fund, so if something like this happens, you can just pick up the phone and get somebody out here instead of relying on a third party to make it happen. If you must have a home warranty, I will just say that I cannot recommend Choice because there's no sense of urgency on their part. They don't care. They're perfectly fine with leaving you know, a family of 5 out in the middle of the, you know, southern Nevadan desert in 100-degree heat without water for a week. I'm going to follow up with Great Basin and make sure that they get paid, because they went above and beyond to resolve this issue. So that being said, everything worked out. Thanks for your comments and your concerns. Sometimes I just need to vent, but I'm gonna fix that. Not right now. It's over 100 degrees already. It's just noon. Right now I'm waiting for the mailman to show up, because my shock extenders should be in the mail today, and if they come in the mail, then I'm going to install those shock extenders. I checked my driveline angles, and my rear pinion needs to come up about 4 or 5 degrees. So I'm going to be ordering some shims to correct my driveline angle. Sorry for the wind noise. Thank goodness I'm making power. So let's see if the mailman comes through today. My spacers came from eBay. First thing I noticed is that the hardware that they sent is not going to work in my application, because the bolts that bolt the shocks to the unibody are captured bolts. So the welds that hold them into the unibody usually break. There's a fix for it. If you're a Jeep guy, you know that already. So basically all this is a little spacer, a little 3-inch spacer made out of a chunk of billet aluminum with holes drilled in it and a notch cut out of it to make room for the shock. Well, the problem is that this was marketed as a Jeep, as an item that would fit a Jeep, and it doesn't quite fit. Here's the crossbar that attaches the shock to the top of the unibody. See a problem here? I don't know if you can see that or not, but they don't quite line up. So what I ended up doing, I got the other shock mounted already. What I'm doing is running an end mill and running this hole, enlarging this hole, hogging it out, running an end mill down it, and spacing those holes out a little bit. And that gave me just enough room to get the bolts in. And I had to go down to Tractor Supply and get grade 8 7/16 bolts. Not 7/16, 5/16. Grade 8 5/16 bolts, because that's the thread and pitch of the captive nut. So I'm gonna go over here in my mill and mill these out. So now you can see, they fit. Voila. Now I'm gonna go install it. There they are. It's days like today that I wish I had 4 posts left. That's on for now. I will eventually get the right shocks, the rusty shocks, the ones that match the front. Probably isn't nearly as important as having brakes that will stop the rag as you're barreling down a mountain. I'm just saying. So I need to get the extended brake lines. And what else do I need to get? Oh, I ordered the shims. They'll be here in a few days, so I can correct the driveline angle. Here's what I determined. I'm assuming the vibration is coming from the rear suspension, because the pinion angle is at 11 degrees. The drive shaft angle is at 16 degrees. The output shaft is at 6 degrees. So there's 5 degrees of separation between the pinion angle and the output shaft angle, and those angles should be pretty close. You know, having it within 1 degree should be probably good enough. I think I think the difference should be, what, 0.5 to 2.5 degrees. So having it 1 degree out should be probably pretty close to stock. But anyway, we'll try that first, and if the driveline vibration doesn't go away, which I suspect it will, then I'll try something else. If you have any insights on, you know, do I need to get a slip yoke eliminator kit? I don't think I do at 3 inches, but I think if I go to 4 or 4.5, which is just an 1.5 inch block and a spacer and a spring spacer, that's easy enough. I'd probably do that for less than $100 and have 4.5 inches of lift. Then I probably want to get a slip yoke eliminator kit. But as it sits right now, the lift is on. Everything is nut and bolted. I checked that this morning. I got to make the sway bar disconnects. You know, that's in the future as well. But in the meantime, it's hotter than freaking Hades out here. It's what, 99 in the shade, but it's a dry heat. If you would be so inclined to do me this huge favor, hammer away at that like button if you like this video. If you didn't like this video, hammer away at the dislike button. Either way is okay with me. Just hammer away at something. Share this video if you liked it with your vast social media network, and if you didn't like it, share it with your vast social media network and tell them all to troll me, make fun of me. Either way, it helps the channel, and I'm trying to grow this thing. So if you haven't done so yet, underneath this window is a big red button that says subscribe. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. And then, because it's not good enough to just subscribe anymore, you need to click the notification bell to be notified of future uploads. Go ahead and do that as well. I mean, it's like less than a ½ inch away from the subscribe button. It's right next to it. There's a little picture of a bell. Click that bell and you'll be notified of future uploads. Till next time, fellas, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and have a splendid day. Now I'm going to go have me a glass of orange juice and get out of this obsessive heat. Bye.